Hey Friendos, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Matt, and we are back with some Marvel Future Fight. And as you can see, we are getting off to a banger today. um, always buy the artifact chests. I see so many people who never do, but yeah, when you go into your store every day and you hit the buy all, always get those artifact chests because they're definitely worth it. I've had quite a few 4 stars drop from there. So yeah. As you can see, we're just coming in with a video talking about the state of the game at the moment. I think like going forward, I just want to do like weekly or bi-weekly like reviews, just sort of like the state of the game kind of thing. As you can see, as it stands, there's currently just over 2 days left remaining on the crafting event. It looks like, unlike previous crafting events where they stop the drops 2 days early, and then you've got a couple of days left to sort of cash in your tokens, it looks like we're going right to the wire. So if you're still trying to grind out those last few snowmen or snowballs to get yourself the mighty or brilliant CTP, good luck. As you can see, we got ourselves the Rage from the Selector, the Brilliant Rage which I showed you in the last video, and the Mighty CTP drop. We actually got a Mighty Authority, which admittedly those aren't the best anymore these days. There's certainly more useful ones for PvP, but hey, it's a free CTP, so we can't argue. Where it's gonna go, I don't really know at the moment. I'll probably go to like some other world battle characters, possibly. Oh, I think I've already got one on Daredevil. So yeah, so now we're back to our normal sort of grinding away. So we're doing dimension missions instead of doing dispatch. Although, interesting side note, after I finished 14-1 to get the snowmen, I realised that you couldn't keep on just like unlimited. So I had to go over to 12-1 to grind for the snowballs, because you couldn't just keep like dismantling the snowmen down to snowballs. 300 runs, I didn't get a single damn Hydra flag. It's so annoying. I only need one more to finish off that thing for the shield archive, and in all those runs I didn't get a damn one. So anyway, moving on to the sort of the catch up of the latest events. You can see we have not been buying any of the new uniforms. Star-Lord, no. Hawkeye, no. Sharon, where's Sharon? There she is. Sharon, no. Although, obviously, as we all know, I do not buy any of the actual money paywall uniforms. I'll buy the male ones, but not the female ones that cost real money. Gamora, we haven't got Gamora. We didn't get Bullseye either, you can see. So the only one we got out of the last 6 uniforms is actually Gambit. As you can see, we didn't have his previous uniform, the Excalibur one, so we only had the default base look for him before, so it was definitely worth getting. We still haven't finished building him up. Though you can see we do have some tickets to finish him. Yeah, right. Those bios, by the way, all those bios I've got for him, the like 300 left, are actually from dimension mission drops, from getting the Gambit bios as a reward in the blue box at the end. So definitely worth doing if you want to keep grinding away to get those kind of characters. But yes, not very much in the latest updates aside from the crafting event. So what I actually wanted to talk about was, funnily enough, Cynicalex's video. Now, don't get me wrong, Cynicalex, obviously, he's the top content creator for Marvel Future Fight. Everyone knows that, the biggest guy. His stuff is great. Chat with him all the time. He's a really good bloke. And I was watching his video earlier, and I was thinking, holy crap. There are just so many like filler characters which are just cluttering up this game. If I was coming new to the game in 2025, who do you realistically need to be building? So as you can see here, all we've done is we've highlighted, or we've favorited, the characters that I believe the only characters you really need. In fact, you can get rid of those 2. Sorry Madeline, sorry Betsy, but if we just scroll that, you could possibly say these extra 4 as well on top of the 16 that are favorited. So you could say there's an argument for having Adam, for having Odin, for having Scarlet Witch, and for having Thanos. but they're not. I wouldn't say that they beat the characters that we've got favorited. So I think this is all you really need. If you want to be meta, or you want to stay in, then yeah, we've got the 2 big tier 3s who got their upgrades in the last 12 months. It's interesting to know that Mephisto supposedly will be getting an upgrade at some point in the future, so whether he will join his brethren with the native tier 3s and also become top meta defining, we'll have to wait and see. I get the sneaking suspicion he won't be as good as these 2, but I mean, these 2 are so amazing for PvP. It'd be great if they made Mephisto that strong for PvE. In terms of the rest of the characters, this pretty much covers everything. Whether it's PvP, whether it's World Boss, whether it's ABX and ABL. If we go in and we look at Alliance Battle, because there are only 2 weeks and it's the same old characters and it's the same old restrictions, we don't need a huge roster full of different characters, which is why Gamora, which is why Bullseye, which is why Hawkeye, I haven't picked up any of those uniforms sadly, because yeah, sure, we need a few things, but it's just generic, like speed villain or speed hero. There are a couple of ones which get a little bit more niche, like for instance, you know, mutant villain. Thank you, Sinkaki, but not right now. So you can see we have Gwen and Gwen for our hero and villain for speed. We don't need to build up Quicksilver or Deadpool or Ant-Man or Spider-Man for any of that other content. It's a shame, but until they bring in speed male, what's the point, you know? Like I said, if it's for like a mutant blast villain, then Magneto is kind of a must if you have a seasonal, but just in general, blast villain, Doctor Strange by far and away, miles on top of anyone else at the current moment in the meta. So yeah, these are pretty much the only characters you need. I put Ghost Rider here, but then I thought, actually he's another one with a you know, a seasonal uniform. Thor, not as good, but he can pretty much do anything the same. Nebula, it was a toss-up between her and Hope Summers. They're pretty much neck and neck. Neither one of them is that far ahead of the other in terms of that one day, and that's all it is, it's one day. Hulk, again, he's there because if you need a combat type, he's pretty much just as good as Gladiator. And I know what you're saying, well hold on, wait a minute, you don't have Gladiator. And it's true, if you look through all the characters that I have, whether it's tier 4, tier 3, Transcended, tier 2, some of those ones at tier 1 because they're literally useless. You look at all those characters here who I don't have, who do you need? You could say, oh, Dazzler's a great support, which is true, and you've got Gladiator there, but for aliens, I'm pretty much covered with Odin as a native tier 2, so he takes most of the alien male days, or Thor, you know, so I don't really need them. The only thing that I would possibly get any of those for, the likes of Dazzler, is there for dispatch missions, which really doesn't mean it's worth it at all. And then again, Jubilee, and I think the last one is Aero. Yeah, Aero. So there's no point. And it's a real shame because when I was watching that video earlier and I was like looking at all those 200 plus other characters and I'm thinking, you know what, some of them are great, but it just goes to show that a lot of the content in game you don't even need to do. Like you look at the epic quests and you think, yeah, they're fun, you get loads of new characters, you get to unlock them, but is there any point grinding out for Goblin Queen and building up all those trash characters? No, not really. The Eternals? No, not really. Sure, with the Dark Avengers quest, Sentry's good, but none of the others are really meta anymore, and Molecule Man isn't worth it for the unlock. In fact, if we go through all of these, I'm pretty sure, apart from building up Sentry, the only other characters that are worth anything from any of the epic quests, really. I mean, Beta Ray Bill is useful, but he's not, you know, he's not meta. Maybe the Fantastic Four in 6 to 12 months time we'll be saying that they're great once their movie comes out, if they do get justice, and they haven't had with either their base kit, the Future Foundation, or the current ones outside of Human Torch. But it's this one. It's the damn X-Men one. The first one that we got is still the only one that's worth a damn in 2025. And that's because you've got Jean, who rips it up in PvE, even though she's fallen completely off in PvP. You've got Wolverine, who with his latest uniform can do both. And like I said, Magneto, if you have his winter seasonal uniform, does great work still. He might have fallen slightly behind Doctor Strange, but he's still worth having. Now, of course, with so many characters in the game, and that's not to say that if you want to build someone up that you shouldn't do so. By all means, build up whoever you like, whoever is your favourite character, go ahead and do that. But if you're new to the game or you're coming back to the game and you're only looking for the absolutely strongest, then like I say, there's only these 16 to 20 characters who you absolutely must have if you want to progress to, the top end game content. The others, yeah, you can take it or leave it. But like I said, if you want to build someone up because you love the character, sure, go ahead, go nuts. I mean, me personally, I've got a bunch of characters who I've either transcended just because I think they're fun, or just honestly for another Shadowland clear, or I'm hoping that it'll get a rework and I'll be ready, like Elsa. Or like Lash, for example. Look at this, I'm just outside the top 100 for Lash. I haven't even really fully built him up. I haven't awakened all of his slots. He's only rank 4 for type enhancement. No CTP on him. Yeah, we got a mythic uniform. But I just built him because I think he's cool. He looks like Akuma from Street Fighter. Or Kyuki, depending on where you are. Yeah, that's the only reason why, just for fun. And there's no reason to say that you can't. But obviously, for a lot of players who don't spend lots of money on the game, sure, if you're spending loads of money, you're probably not watching this video, you've already built up all these characters. But for those of you who are being more frugal, who are saving and watching every crystal spent, then you should only be looking at these very top characters to build up. And then you want to be putting more of your time and resources into the things that matter, like swords. That's going to make a big difference. Like cards, again, that's going to make a huge difference. There's no point getting one CTP for one character when you can get a card which will make a difference to every character you're playing with. I know this point gets hammered home by every other content creator, but you know what? It bears repeating because it's true. You can see I've got a bunch of cards there. I'm waiting till my gold reserves are back up, and then I can finally get that 7-star on my one remaining. Thanks but no thanks. And that's about it. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
We await your return, warrior.